clicking any specific list that I want people to be on specifically. Like I want them to be on a tax default, foreclosure, and high equity. I'm just literally pulling everyone who's on 4 more lists. And I mean, Brent has 30 people right here just on this wholesaling hotline list that he has imported into this batch lease system here. Now, if I click on an address, let's see. Wow, this guy's on a foreclosure list, a code violations list, and a tax default list. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. This would be a lead you want to go door knocking. You better call them. You better text them.
You're not sharing the screen right now, are you?
I am. Don't, you guys can get the address if you want. But seriously though, like, I mean, literally, I just did people that are on 4 more lists. And now I have 30 people, 30 solid leads that I can literally contact and try to get in contact with them however I need to. Because I know, hey, this guy's on, look at another property, foreclosures, code violations list, and a high equity. Guys,
come on.
Seriously. I mean, even if you're driving for dollars, this would be a property I would take down when I'm driving for dollars, 100%. Look at that thing. Guys, I mean,
awesome.
You can literally do everything all from this one platform. I always do it every single time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I get blown up. But if you guys are knowing how to use the platform, that could be making more money and TTPing. So let me know if you have any questions.
Rob.
602-560-9243.
Rob, can you hear me?
Robert. Crushing it.
Who's that? Oh, it just joined.
There we go.
Rob, hey, TTP, can you hear me?
Hey, Pace. I know I'm not as good looking as Michelle, but I still got the looks here.
You still got it.
Can I tell you guys something? Can I tell you guys a secret?
All right. See you guys.
See ya. Thank you.
Hey, Brent.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys know that you never pressed go live at the very beginning of the broadcast? So you and Rob were not live that entire time.
Oh, that's the one thing we forgot.
Yeah. It's all good. I caught it the last 5 minutes or so. It's no big deal.
Well, it was good because he was talking about stacking those lists, which is an incredible way to get the most distressed property owners for sure. So we got the highlight on there at least. Let me close my door.
Love it. What's up, bro? Jamil, where are you at?
I'm in my office.
You're in the new spot? You're in the new office?
I'm in the office. Yep. I got to download Google Chrome on my bigger computer because I can't use StreamYard on Safari. But I'm here. I'm in the office. It's nice. It's nice and cool in here. I've got leg room. It's awesome.
And where are you at, Pace? Are you back in town? Love it.
This is how many houses I bought.
How many houses you bought today?
This is how many houses I bought today. And one of them I bought with Jerry Norton. Him and I partnered on it.
Awesome.
It's really funny. He gets a call from somebody in town, and they were like, I don't know how to solve this problem, so I'm giving the deal to you. So I get somebody that calls me in town and goes, I don't know how to solve this problem, so I'm giving this to you. So Jerry texts me, he goes, hey, what do you think about this deal? And he starts texting me the numbers on it. And I go, I text him back instead of yes or no. I text him back the seller's name. And he goes, whoa, how did you know the seller's name? I'm like, oh, I'm also working the deal. So anyway, I ended up going to the appointment with Jerry today and working out a sub-2 deal in the Biltmore area. I have not bought a sub-2 deal in the Biltmore area.
What's the price point?
$1 million.
What's it? You think it's worth about $1 million?
It's probably as is worth $1 million. We bought it for $650 on terms.
Awesome. And that's subject to?
What's that?
You did a subject to on it?
We did a sub-2. We took over the original mortgage, so our payment is $2,800 on a house that will probably rent for about $4,800.
So let me ask you there. So this thing's worth $1 million. He owes what? $650?
He owes $650.
Why didn't he just throw it on the market?
He tried. Too late. Basically, what happened is he has a second position lender with a balloon, and the second position lender has been extended. And finally, this seller, who's like in full denial of the situation, basically says, I'm going to wait it out. There's no way the guy's going to foreclose on me, and I'll figure it out, you know? And then next thing you know, it's like, boom, foreclosure letter comes, the guy's dead serious, and the guy doesn't have enough time to sell the property. So what we did was we bought the property from him at $650. We're going to pay off his second position note, and then we're going to lease the property back from him for a year and sell it back to him at $850,000. So Jerry and I will make $200,000 in one deal on a subject to.
Awesome. What was the second on it?
A second will be about $50,000.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not bad. I mean, especially with Jerry's deep pockets, I'm just going to have him stroke a check.
Oh, Jerry's deep pockets. Come on, player. Come on, player.
Oh, yeah, it's really good. Really good day today.
I was telling you, I was messaging you in your DMs today. I keep writing first meal, and it keeps coming back to me that I wrote it wrong.
Have you been paying attention to that?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
So everybody, let's welcome everybody to Wholesale Hotline. Brent, why don't you give some
First of all, wait, before we get too far in, guys, it's episode 26. You know what that means?
Half the year.
Happy anniversary.
Hmm.
We are 6 months. This is our 6-month anniversary, guys. If we were in high school, we'd be giving each other flowers and chocolates because it would be a big deal. 6 months, guys. 6 months. The hotline's been on 6 months. I can't believe how much this show has grown in 6 months' time. It's incredible. And I just wanted to thank both of you guys for being amazing friends, co-hosts, and all the service that you guys bring to the table when we do this. I'm honored to be on this with you two, and I just love you both.
Well, when the biggest, baddest wholesaler in the country wants to do a live event every Monday, and you love him, and he's the best, you say yes. So thank you for setting it all up, Jamil and Pace. Listen, people get a lot of really, really tactical and scripting from you every single show. I think that's what people are really waiting for, is to ask a question that somebody's going to bring out that gold that you have inside your brain. And I think that this is perfect. If you guys don't mind, I have a Tim Ferriss quote that I wrote down before this show because I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. And this goes out to everybody on the show. We've got over 220 people already on. We're getting warmed up on Wholesale Hotline number 26. And Tim Ferriss says, if you want to get anything in life, chances are it's inside somebody else's head. The knowledge, the skills, the blueprint, the pickaxe to getting that gold is in the form of a question. So guys, there are no silly questions. There are no newbie questions. We don't even like calling people newbies. It's just you're building momentum in your business if you are taking action. But that's what we hope. And I talked to you about this, Jamil. I said, I was listening to Zig Ziglar, Pace, and he said this, it blew my mind. He said, it's not what you get out of reading a book. It's what the book gets out of you, right? Like the action that you take because you're so inspired, because that something in your brain just exploded, and then all of a sudden it either gave you the confidence or it gave you the certainty, or it confirmed all those things that you've been thinking about, and all of a sudden it's right there in a book. And I think that is the exact same feeling that this program, that this Wholesale Hotline has. Is it's not what you get out of this hour and a half that we spend with you every Monday. It's what this gets out of you. We want to give you inspiration to take action. We want to give you the inspiration to be able to go out and get your first deal or get those deals consistently. So whether it's just a little thing here or there, implement it, but you have to take actions, because actions will get you the results, and the results will get you the behavior. And that's really what we want. We want to change the behaviors of our industry so that people will squat up and understand that it is not competition, it is collaboration. And the people in this group, people in your market are there to help you if you serve them. So here we go. Wholesale Hotline 26, getting deep.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Couple big things that you guys probably have seen on my Instagram.
I'm not sure.
You saw the giveaway that I'm doing called #FirstDeal. And it is so funny if you guys actually look at my stories, like how people are spelling first deal. It's like there's nothing I can do besides like I tell people I do this. We're doing a giveaway. So go to my Instagram DMs and type in hashtag first deal, all one word. I guarantee somebody will screw it up. And they have been. It's been so funny watching it. The giveaway we're giving away is that my partner Cody and I are going to be buying a house with creative financing and then fixing and flipping it on the retail market. We are giving away a free partnership in that fix and flip so that you can learn all the way through. Jamil, dude, I have made videos. I've like typed it out for people. I'm like copy and paste it. I probably have had, I don't want to tell you how many people I've had, but I've had at least 100 people spell it like first. It's amazing. Go watch my Instagram stories. You will laugh your ass off. People that are typing it incorrectly. So that's number one. Go check out that giveaway. It's an epic giveaway. Second thing, I wanted to touch base on what Brent Daniels just talked about. Sparked my thought process. We have a guy who watches this show. He's super supportive, and I know people have been trying to get their first deal for a year, 6 months, 5 months, whatever. This guy, Stephen Crawford, I went down to Yuma to visit him. He got his first deal. He got it for $0 out of his pocket, 0% seller finance. It's his first deal ever. And he got it because he did one simple action. He went to Google and he typed in how to get rich quick. And then it said, go get into real estate. So he goes, how do I get into real estate? He Googled it. And then he finds Steve Trang's show. He sees Brent. He sees me. He sees Jamil. He's like, oh my gosh, I got to join Wholesale Hotline. So then he joins the Sub 2 mentorship, learns how to buy creative financing. In less than 90 days of Googling how to get rich quick, he owns his first seller finance deal, 0% interest, because this is a guy that's a crop duster. He's been living his entire life mixing chemicals, crop dusting farms, doing all that kind of stuff. He doesn't have like a pedigree of real estate, and in 90 days owns his first seller finance deal at 0%. So what I love about what Brett is bringing up is it's not what you can learn, it's what you actually put into action. It's not just reading the book, it's actually putting the action and like changing your life. So guys, if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. Don't feel like you're overpressured. Just take one step at a time, one step at a time. I think the very beginning of this process comes down to one thing, and it's TTP. Yeah. That's the number one thing this comes down to. Every conversation I have in real estate, I go to these Phoenix RIAs, I travel the country. I can't tell you how many people talk about how it comes down to just talking to people. It is absolutely the genesis of every single deal comes to talking to people. Am I right, Brent?
100% quality conversations with distressed property owners. That's how you source real estate opportunities. Once you find real estate opportunities, it's just talking to somebody else that is looking for that opportunity. That's as simple as it is. I don't care if you're going and getting and doing micro flipping like Jamil talks about, where you're matching up people that are trying to sell and people that are trying to buy, and you're getting in the middle, or you're just taking that deal down from somebody that's going to bring you deal after deal after deal. I mean, Jamil talks about it, and it was one of the interesting conversations that we had years ago. And you're like, do you want to like go to your buddy that's if you're a drug addict, do you want to go to your buddies that have drugs and just get it once, or do you want to go to a dealer that has it and can give it to you all the time, right? I mean, that's essentially what you have set up with your company is people come to you because they want to buy discounted properties. People come to you because you have all these people that want to sell discounted properties and they need an avenue. They know how to get the deal because they had that quality conversation with the distressed property owner, but they don't have the cash buyer database to get the most out of that deal possible. And that's how Keegley came about and has taken over, really. And now,
Brent, answer this question. This is a freaking perfect question for you on the screen right now.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You have to remember, Louis, that as you are making calls, you need to think every single time that this person wants to sell their home at a discount. It's the whole Bill Belichick philosophy, right? Just do your job this one play. Just do your job this one play. That's all you have to worry about. See, what happens is as we're making calls all the time and people tell us no or they're not ready or whatever, we build up in our mind pathways that say, wait a second, every time I dial, it's going to be a no. And then your tone goes down and your energy goes down and you stop and you think you made 15 calls, but you made 3 and you're just like, how do I get through this? You got to stand up. You got to bring energy to this. I'm telling you, when you can get energy out of picking up the phone and knowing at some point somebody's going to need your help. At some point, somebody's going to need you to solve their problems. At some point, you are going to take the anxiety and stress off of a property owner, and all you have to do is get on here and have a conversation with them. That changes your whole perspective because it'll actually give you energy as opposed to draining you. Right? Nobody was taught how to cold call. Nobody went to school for it. Nobody's parents made them do it for chores on the weekend to toughen them up. Right? This wasn't a thing. And that's why there's not a lot of people that really do it. A lot of people.
I went to school for it, bro. I went to talktopeople.com.
Yeah, that's it. Talktopeople.com. Yeah, that is the school. I mean,
I'm a TTP alumni, bro. And people tell me how good I am on the phone all the time. And I'm like, guys, it all comes down to talking to people. TTP.
Well, and that's something that I wanted to ask you because I don't think enough people ask you this, Pace. And I've seen it in action and I've seen it on video. I've seen everything. Before you're ready to call a lead, right? This is somebody that you've already had. Before you're ready to call a lead, what do you do right before to make sure you're like on top of your game? You know what I mean? Like how do you make sure that you're not distracted or there's not craziness going on or you're not thinking about a different lead and different? How do you get in the game right before a call?
I made this a horrible answer. I don't ever have to do that.
Why?
Because I love doing it. In fact, it's probably my top 3 favorite things to do. It's like Jamil the other day. We were hanging out at Jamil's house, and Jamil's like, hey, I got this seller that we're like 300 grand off. And I was like, bro, please let me call the seller. Let me call the seller. Let me call the seller. I look forward to calling the seller because you go through it enough times, you realize how easy it really can be and how these sellers actually need your help. So once you start talking to people, it's a game changer. It builds up momentum. That's why I never have to worry about that.
But I feel like you don't go through the same process that most people. You know, I was a judge for the Closers Olympics. You know what I mean? And it was name, property, what's the situation, still think about selling, what's going on, price. It was kind of like, you know, there's a certain formula to it. But I feel with you go into something like totally off the wall, off the bat. Right? You're asking about what, and it's not even like the generic weather type stuff. You're just asking whatever pops into your head, you know.
Right.
But really, a really important thing, and guys, you should see it because don't be fooled by some of the ads that you see with me or Pace or Jamil. Pace's tone with these sellers is they know he's listening. Okay, he's not just asking something. He's not bombastic. He's not blowing them out with too much enthusiasm. He's right across. He'll go up and down depending on the conversation. But typically, you come in with a very listening, concerned tone. It's almost like you're calling them concerned about them.
Right. So I had a wholesaler here today in Phoenix. I won't say his name. I ended up doing I'm looking at it right now. It's a recorded Zoom call. I did it today where we bought 5 houses on 0% seller finance all today. Okay. I recorded that on Zoom right here. So same lighting, same voice, same everything. So if you guys want access to that call I made where you're watching me video and I bought those 5 houses today, throw TTP, write the word TTP in the comments. If I get 100 TTPs in the comments, I'll give you guys the link to that Zoom that I recorded today.
Awesome.
Also, Brent, to add to that, I think that, you know, you really have to get yourself energetically in the right place prior to every call, right? And for me, a deep breath and then remembering that I'm on the phone to solve a problem. I think that for the most part, a lot of times we get onto the phone, we're calling sellers, and you get that desperation of, I just need a deal. But that's not the heart in which you'll be successful. What you need, the heart that you need to get on the phone with, I need to solve a problem. And if you can pretend like the person on the other line is your grandpa or your grandma, and you really are just, even though they may not be nice to you, like maybe your grandma or grandpa might not have been nice to you. Who knows, right? If you've ever talked to a grandparent on the phone and they haven't been happy to be on the phone at that time, that might be reminiscent of the other person on the line. But if you can get there and really have compassion and love for the people that are on the other line, and just know that they're human beings, they're someone's grandma, grandpa, or mom or dad, and somebody out there really loves them and wants you to treat them with kindness and respect and help them, it really helps you go a long way from looking at that conversation as a path to you making money versus a path to you adding value to this planet. And your money will come as a byproduct to adding value to everybody that you contact.
And can I tell you a couple of things real quick? Because I want to give you this link. I'm not joking you. I felt like Michael Jordan in Game 7 in this phone call today. It was honestly the top of my game, the best I've ever done. The sellers at the beginning were like, we're really not that interested. And at the end, they were like, well, of course we're going to do this, and we're going to sell it to you on 0%. Of course we're going to do this. Let's go. And no, we don't really need a down payment because we don't really want our taxes to go up. So let us talk to the CPA and let's move forward and get this deal done. It was such a good call. It's 51 minutes. It is unbelievable. So Brent, where should I share the link? Should I have Alejandro put it on like ttp.com, or where should we put it? I'm going to text Alejandro and ask her where we should put it.
You can just post it in the Facebook group, Pace.
The problem is everybody sells my shit.
Yeah.
What they do is they'll download it and then they'll go sell it. I had this guy like 5 months ago. I released my seller recordings in my Creative Finance Facebook group. He downloads my recordings and goes into another wholesale Facebook group, and he was selling my recordings for $99.
Oh wow!
So yeah. I have to make sure there's a gate. I have to make sure there's the ability for somebody to at least give their email so we know who's actually downloading and listening to the stuff, because people will just steal your stuff. They'll copy everything you're doing. And I don't mind giving value, but what I do mind is giving value and then somebody making profit on it when that wasn't the original intent of giving back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Alejandro where we should put it.
Perfect. And I think the sticking point, guys, and maybe you can go back in time to before you ever got a deal, right? I think the issue is, I get it, guys. I feel good. I understand that I can solve problems. I understand that I can get out there, but I don't know how I solve those problems, right? I don't know what I'm supposed to say to them. But let me tell you this. If you are asking questions about the condition of the property, their timeline to sell that property, their motivation or what is their problem, and their price, those are the 4 things that the conversation all comes back to. It all comes back to these type of things. And for Pace's examples in the recordings, price also means terms, okay? That's interchangeable there. It's just price typically with wholesale, right? So condition, timeline, motivation, price. Write it down. Those are the 4 pillars: condition, timeline, motivation, price. If you can find out those things, the conversation is going to open up for you. And if you're listening and you're likable, it's going to open up, and you're going to be able to solve that problem by putting that property under contract and either buying it or selling that contract. That's it. I mean, that's what we do here, right? That's how we set this up. That's how we solve this problem. And so don't overthink it, guys. It's not, you don't have to have all this experience in the world to be able to do this. Like Jamil said, just treat it like it's a family member, a neighbor, somebody in your community, somebody from church. I mean, somebody that you can really connect with and just listen to, and then you're going to be off and running. Open it up, be proactive, have a quality conversation based on condition, timeline, motivation, price, and then watch what happens. Watch your business explode. Just watch what happens.
There was a question a little bit earlier, guys, where, and I think we lost it because we have about 1,000 TTPs. But the question was asking about how to get a proof of funds. And this is something that comes up a lot. I get people DMing me, and even in my program, I get asked, how do I get my hands on a proof of funds? And here's my quick and dirty answer to that, guys. If you go online and you find a proof of funds website, that's going to be sketchy, okay? because brokers are going to know that they exist. And like, if you're paying, okay, just saying, if you're paying somebody $20 for 20 proof of fund letters, and that proof of fund letter just has an arbitrary amount of money in it, and you choose your own amount, okay, it's a misleading document. Okay, now if you use a misleading document when you consummate a contract, that's borderline fraud, right? Borderline, because there's an intent to deceive there. Don't do that, right? My thoughts are, don't do that. It's not worth it. You can get a proof of funds letter legitimately. And my favorite way of getting a proof of funds letter without having funds is making a relationship with a hard money lender. And so what I would suggest you guys do, if any of you are in a market and you need a proof of funds letter, Google hard money lender in your market. So if I'm in Phoenix, I'm just going to go to Google and I'm going to write hard money lender Phoenix, and the best ones will pop up on that first page, and I'll call all of them and I'll say, hey, I'm a wholesaler. I'm writing offers for MLS deals. I'm writing offers to sellers, and my buyers I'm going to refer you to my buyers to close with when they need hard money, but I need a proof of funds. I need a pre-qual letter in the interim. Will you supply me one? And then they will. And that company does have the funds to write you that letter. They do have the funds to make that document factual and real. And you're no longer in the gray side of it. You're black and white on the white. So again, my favorite approach is the approach that's forthright, that's honest. Go to a hard money lender and get your hands on a pre-qual letter from them, and make a relationship with a hard money lender. That's not a relationship that is worthless. They're amazing relationships. My relationship with Capital Fund is so good that I actually, just before Wholesale Hotline, got off the phone with the president, and they're extending Keegley a $5 million line of credit off of a phone call that I made on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
If I can raise $5 million like that, because of the strength of my relationship with a hard money lender, guys, you can do the same. So just saying, it's a good thing to do. Hard money lenders are people you want to communicate with, you want to have in your tool belt. That's how you get a proof of funds letter.
And oh, by the way, every so often, every 30 days, every 90 days, you might want to take a property down, clean it up, and sell it, right? And you don't want to tie up all your funds, all your savings, all your retirement, whatever it is. You need a lender on your team. You need a hard money lender on your team that is going to look at that asset, look at that property, and determine how much they're going to lend for you. And the more that you build that relationship, the stronger it gets, the better that they're going to be at making quick decisions on how much they're going to give you. They're going to communicate a lot better. They're going to be around for you when you need them. When that buyer backs out the last minute, but this is a smoking hot deal that you were going to make $50K on the assignment, but you need to close it tomorrow, or the seller will not close that deal. You need to have somebody in your corner to be able to do that. And that's what these private money lenders are. And it's absolutely critical to have that on your team. A really great escrow officer, a really great private lender. Don't be afraid. Listen, their job is to lend money. That's their job. Don't be afraid of them. Ask the questions. Don't feel stupid. Just get in there and don't be intimidated by people that are hard money lenders. These guys aren't, going to break kneecaps and do that type of thing. They're going to look at the asset really, really, really smart. These are analytical type guys or gals, and they're going to make sure that they make the right decision on what they want to lend there. So just go there and have a great conversation with them.
When you guys go get your tires changed at like Big O or Discount Tires, are you super nervous to get your tires changed and ask them for new tires?
Nope.
So how is it any different if I'm talking to a hard money lender? It's like, dude, it's the same thing. They have a problem.
Because they're called hard money lenders, and in our minds, we get this idea that a hard money lender is like Bruno and Tony Soprano.
Right.
And it's basically like taking money from a loan shark or the mafia. The reason it's called hard money, guys, is because it's guaranteed against the hard asset. That's it. They're called hard money lenders because they're asset-based lenders. They're lending on the deal. They like the house. They're giving you a loan based off. They don't care if you have a 300 credit score. Listen, a hard money lender will give you a loan if you file bankruptcy every year since 1990. They will still give you a loan if the asset is worthy of a loan. So don't worry about that. Hard money lenders aren't here to make life hard, even though the name has it in it. they're actually the easiest people to work with.
By far. Yeah. Incredible. And just once you do your first one, you're gonna understand how simple and easy it is, and then just keep going and going and going. I love this question by Kimberly. Yeah, I think yes, because here's what I'll say. There's certain things that work in our industry because they've been tested and tested and tested and tested. Now, do I want you to sound like a robot? No. Do I want you to be like hit each syllable the way that I hit it? No. But scripts are like the scaffolding or the skeleton of the conversation. It just helps to direct it so that you're not just off and running about God knows what. And most of the time, when we're starting out, we get a little nervous. And when we get nervous, we out-talk ourselves. We just talk and we jibber jabber about stupid shit, and it just doesn't go anywhere. So the scripts are there to pull us back till we know where's our groove, where's the right way to say certain things and ask certain things and be able to be comfortable with certain personalities. That's what it is. It's just, it is a process of words that are effective, that you internalize so that you can use it and sound like you're just having a conversation, as opposed to something that's very robotic and Mr. and ma'am and sir and all this other stuff and all the formality. No, this is so that you can sound like a neighbor and have a good conversation.
Hey, Brent, when you were playing football up at NAU, you guys had a playbook.
Yep.
Right? It's not like the quarterback and the running back and everybody was actually pulling out the playbook every time they had a play on the field. When were you learning? And you guys were at like the top of your game in college, right? You guys were a great team.
Hall of Fame.
You were still using a playbook before you got into the game.
Yeah, it's practice, then play. That's it. You can practice. You could go through the TTP script over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and not have to practice live when you're calling, a guy that is about to lose his home in 40 days. You know what I mean? Like, practice it before, role play it with some people, play with it a little bit. You know what I mean? Just have, understand that different personality types are going to respond differently to different questions. If you're talking to somebody that's analytical, they're going to want to know more about the nuts and bolts. They're going to want to know why you offered what you offered. They're going to want to know about the comps. They're going to tell you that their house is exactly 2,197 square feet, and they bought it in 1994, and at the time they bought it for $47,521. I mean, these are analytical type people, and you just understand that there's 4 different personality types. This book, hold on. This book right here is a must read for every TTP student, Versatile Selling, and it breaks down the different personality types, and it helps you.
Is that a new book?
What's that?
Is that a new book?
Versatile Selling.
Oh, it can't be new. Look at the logo at the top. That's from the 1990s. I like it.
Oh, this is dry, Pace. This is the driest book of all time, but I've got it all highlighted. I mean, there is no fun here. Like, this book would be like 3 times as thick if they had all your stories and actual anecdotes and like stuff that help people learn. But no, this is straight in your veins. Get it and understand it. Yeah.
So Brent, my cold callers use the TTP script.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody at like VA Hub, which is the cold callers that we use, vahub.com. If you guys
texters.
What's that?
They text for us.
Oh, sweet. So VA Hub uses the TTP script.
Yep.
It allows them to onboard so much faster.
Yep.
So if somebody wanted to get access to the TTP script, where should they go? How do they get access? Talk to people.
Guys, we have an unbelievable resource there for you.
Hey, check this out. Check this out. Craig Rogers says Jerry Norton has proof of funds letters, and Jerry was just watching Wholesale Hotline like 2 minutes ago, and he says he just texted me. He says, "Tell Jamil his beard has never looked better."
Hey,
it is unruly right now. I actually have my barber on his way here to give me a shape up as soon as Hotline's over.
Ooh,
awesome!
Yeah.
Let's get into some great questions because we're
there's like a bunch of really good ones. That scripting one was really, really, really good. There was another one about budget. Here it is. I think Jamil put it on the screen. It was this one, right, Jamil?
Yeah. How do I skip trace when I don't have a very big budget? Does Batch do single skips?
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to want, I mean, just get 200 or 300, you know, even if it's driving for dollars at 14 cents, what are we talking about? We're talking about $30, $40. You know what I mean? I mean, it's worth it to get really good data. You know, don't go for these ones that are like 3 or 4 cents with skip trace or whatever it is. It's terrible data.
Trash.
Wheels. So, yeah.
You'll second guess getting into this business altogether if you have low data because you're like, this is crap. There's no way that anybody's making money on this because you just have bad data.
Yeah.
If people aren't picking up your phone because you're calling the wrong number, you have no chance of getting a deal because you can't buy the house from somebody from a person who's not answering the phone because you don't have their phone number. So Spencer, I would go to Batch. You can use the code SQUAD, I believe, SQUAD, and you should get a deal. That'll give you, I think, 14 cent skips or something like that, or whatever it is. Buy a few hundred of them and go about that way. Spencer, another thing that I've noticed, I get this question a lot. I'm going to be making a little video about it. Is what do I use? Batch leads or do I use GoKnock? Right? Oh. That's a big question. I get DM'd a lot. I actually just put a little GoKnock video up over the weekend, and I probably was DM'd about 30 times that exact question. Spencer, GoKnock is for you. GoKnock is set up for people that are on the go that don't want to skip trace a massive list, that want to, you know, maybe they're waiting in a lineup. They're at the DMV. They got a half an hour to wait because their number got pulled and they're, 45 down the line. They want to make some cold calls while they're in the car, just doing whatever. GoKnock is a perfect app for you. So what I would suggest you do is you go to GoKnock.com, use the code SQUAD, get 50 free skips using that code. And that should, until you get set up, Spencer, when you're at a desktop and you've got a budget and you've got VAs and you've got cold callers and you've got your whole business set up, in the meantime, GoKnock should be what you use.
And sell some stuff. You guys have ever, I don't know if you guys have ever been this, but I was thinking about, like, when it was really, really rough, I sold my TV, I sold the Nintendo Wii, I sold shoes, I sold everything that I had that was like worth anything, just so that I could keep going in this business, keep it rolling, and keep my head above. I mean, just sell some stuff that you don't want anymore. Sell all the stuff. Who cares? Just build up a little nest egg there so that you can get really great data and that you can be able to call people and have those conversations and really go after this thing. Plus, it just makes for a much, more memorable story. You know what I mean? I mean, who cares about the guy that had 20 grand in the bank and then started making cold calls and then now is a millionaire? You know what I mean? Like, it's the nitty gritty. It's that rock bottom, and that's as Tom Kroll would say, the rock bottom's the strongest foundation. So
hell yeah. And look at this. Hell yeah. I sold my Xbox, start my first business.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I was selling everything on Craigslist and everything. Let me ask a quick question to you, Jamil. All right?
Yep.
This is something that I wrote down specifically for you because I think it's important to people to understand. And I'll answer it a little bit for myself so that it's not like too deep on you. But what are some unique skills that have helped you be successful? And I think for myself, it's energy, right? Being able to get up, being able to bring people to that energy. People's eyes light up more if there's energy and enthusiasm and passion for it. People get, just are naturally attracted to it. What unique skills for you? Because, we kind of have, people understand your story. People maybe know that you're from Canada, maybe not, maybe know that you came from LA, maybe know some of this about you. But the unique skills that made Keekly was really, between you and Josiah and Hunter, you guys all came together, but you were really the mouthpiece. You were really the one going out there and really, really, really getting people excited to send you deals. Like, what is it, man?
Well, I was relentless, Brent. I was honestly relentless with it. Prior to Keekly, I had really built up a really amazing referral network, and that was really just one kept promise at a time. Remember, guys, that your reputation will precede you in everything you do in this business, right? The reason why astro flipping can be successful and why you'll see I'll run an ad and there'll be haters, right? People will be like, oh, this guy sucks and I hate your man boobs or whatever they'll say. they'll be mean to me, and then 100 people will come out and say, where are you coming from? This guy is the realest deal, and he's actually doing 60 to 80 deals a month, and their company is legit. You should check them out. Well, the reason why people will come to my defense is because I have kept promises. I have kept promises across the board with everybody. I have done my best to be a good human being, an honest human being, and do business with integrity, the way my father taught me, the way his dad taught him. And truthfully, I think that is what has been the differential between Keegley lasting and then other similar type companies having come and gone by the wayside. Because obviously, there's some, I'm not going to name any, but there was one specifically in Phoenix where the business was always bad, where promises were never kept, right? And when that happens, your reputation actually sinks your ship before you do. And I think that was it, Brent. I'm a man of my word. I will always keep it. I won't bullshit you. I have no need to. The deal works or it doesn't. I can buy it or I can't. And that's how I've always done business.
Relentless integrity.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite thing I heard all day was one kept promise at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and it's that. These are the foundational skills that we don't talk about. We don't talk about this stuff when we're talking about, hey, this is how you go get a deal. Hey, this is how you build your business and read these books and do that thing and the tactical stuff. But really, that foundation of integrity, that foundation of hope, that foundation of believing in what you're doing, that's the whole. If you don't have that, I don't care how many. I could give you a checklist. You could follow Pace Morby for a year. And if you don't have those things, you're just not going to grow your business. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? But I think it's important to talk about. I think it's important to bring up. I think it's important because I think the people watching this, they have that. You know what I mean? They just need to use that and direct that into their real estate business and understand that those main pillars, that foundation that they have, I mean, just lean on it. You've got it. You've got that foundation. Now just put in all the good stuff and take action and you're off and running. I'm telling you, it's incredible.
Can I touch base on this real quick?
Yes, please.
This is actually more of a question for Jamil.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's a question for Jamil because Jamil
would say Florida is bad for cold calling. What are your thoughts?
Jamil, here's why it's a good question for you, because I want you to tell people some of your hottest markets in the entire country and why are they hot?
You got it. So, but the answer may not be what we think, right? So two of our hottest markets are Orlando and Tampa. A big problem with Orlando and Tampa is that they can be litigious, okay? And that you can, if you aren't crossing your T's and dotting your I's and litigator scrubbing your data and checking against the do not call list and really making sure that you are not breaking the rules, you can get into trouble in Florida. So for all of you that are in Florida that want a cold call, that want a text message, batch leads, again, I have no ownership in batch. I get asked this question all the time. I have zero ownership. It's not my company, okay? And if a better company comes along, I will promote the better company. I guarantee you. I guarantee I will do that, okay? If something better came along, I would. But today, there is nothing out there that can even come close to the fact that they scrub the list. You can scrub for the do not call list, so you can guarantee your safety or at least really, really mitigate against being sued. And that should allow you some great results in Florida. And Pace, you just entered Orlando. You guys are doing really well out there as well. I think you guys just did like 4 or 5.
We took 4 of our VAs off of Phoenix cold calling and moved them over to Orlando because of how much easier it is to cold call in Florida.
And how's that been going for you?
Great. You guys are selling our deals. I think we did like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in Orlando just last month from having Keegley sell our shit.
Awesome.
I've been selling deals and cold calling in Florida for a year and a half. It is fish in a barrel compared to Phoenix.
And also,
Fish in a barrel. But I will tell you this. Our partners out there prefer to close on every other deal. They just like that. The spreads are bigger when they own it and sell it off, and then we split the proceeds. But so maybe that's a strategy there. Maybe you need to close on some more deals there.
Why is that?
They just feel like
are they double closing or are they fixing and flipping?
No, they flip them more.
Got it.
Yeah, they feel like it's different than Phoenix. In Phoenix, a lot of times we run into the biggest spreads that we get are like these really destroyed properties that take a lot. For some reason in Florida, in some of the retirement areas, some of the other neighborhoods, these aren't that terrible. You know, it's a $10,000, $15,000 rehab that goes in a couple weeks and then they can put it back on. So for some reason, the quality of the properties that we get at a discount is better in Florida. I don't know.
Hey, John Scott Jr. says, are you guys in Alabama yet? Well, I can tell you an extension of Jamil is in Alabama by the name of Ty Flipman Taylor.
It's so funny that John asked this question today because as of this morning, we have 3 Keegley franchise applications right now in Birmingham, and we can only choose one.
I love Birmingham. We had a lot of fun in Birmingham last year.
Birmingham's the best. And it gives me a reason to go visit Ty. You love Ty.
Love it. Check this out. Oh, yeah. Look at this.
Look at that guy. This is a pure analytical engineer making cold calls, guys. Okay, if you think that you can't do it because you need to analyze everything, do it. Nope. Jared is crushing it out there. He is in Lubbock. Yeah, that's where Texas Tech is, right? I think. I don't know. You guys don't know.
Wait. Jeff is with.
Did you see this? Did you see this, Pacer?
Yeah.
The man, Jeff Houlihan.
I haven't seen him in a while. He went off and got married. What's going on?
He went off and married that beautiful girl that's on the photo there with him. And then just last week, Jeff came back to work at Keegley.
Amazing. What market?
He is working Phoenix, but he can work any market. So, guys, Jeff's in the comments. He's actually in the comments to help you out. So if you've got deals and you need somebody to help you out, please reach out to Jeff. He put his phone number in there. He's absolutely here to take care of you guys and give as much value to you as possible. He did well. Hey, look that. I mean, they're both obnoxiously beautiful people, though.
I didn't notice that.
Awesome. What else?
Oh, we got so many good questions.
So many questions in here. So many.
Let me jump back and ask a couple questions. Ooh. All right. So door knocking, scratch. Okay. So something that you guys need to understand is something Cody and I have been working on is that we are using the Go Knock app. We built a door knocking team, and we are running a door knocking Instagram so you guys can follow our door knockers day by day by day. So go follow our Instagram at gonockapp.com. So, or not gonockapp.com, gonockapp on Instagram. So follow us. I think on Monday, our door knocking team is going to be posting on that live. So stay tuned for that. And then there's such a freaking good question for Jamil in here. Ooh, how about Brent? Brent, let's jump on this one for you.
Yeah, it's just different, Dante. You know what I mean? It's just different. I'm on the phone all day long, but I'm talking to people around the country that are doing amazing things, and I'm talking to a lot of students throughout the day. I'm talking to a lot of high-level business people. You know what I mean? It's still talking to people, but once I trained my cold callers in the TTP process, they went off and ran. And, they'll never be as good as me. Ever, 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 ever. They'll never be as good as you if you're making the calls. But they will put in the work. That's why I love hiring with callmotivatedsellers.com. Those guys are making calls. They're Americans living abroad. They're even hiring Americans now to make your calls. And it just is so much better quality than if you hire somebody that's a second language. But it depends on your budget. So, no, I don't.
I want to touch on this one right here. Check this out. You and I were talking about this the other day. Do you want to be transparent about this conversation?
So do you believe foreclosures are the way to go now or in the near future? So I want to touch on something because there's a lot of fear-mongering going out there. There's people telling others that, hey, buy my course because I'm going to teach you how to capitalize on the upcoming foreclosure catastrophe that's about to come around the corner, blah, blah. Again, I have nothing against people who have a course that they're going to teach you something. And look, going to college can cost you $100,000. Learning how to TTP can cost you like under 5. Okay. Being in astro flipping is like under 10, right? Being in sub 2 is under 10, whatever. I'm just saying is that you can make more money than a doctor. I make more money than a plastic surgeon. Okay. And I didn't spend $300,000 to go learn how to be a plastic surgeon. All right. So what I'm saying is that I don't have a problem with people having courses. What I do have a problem with is when that information that they're touting is wrong. Let's look at facts, okay, guys? Let's look at the facts. 3 out of the last 5 recessions were net positive on real estate. 3 out of the last 5 recessions had a net positive effect, meaning prices went up in real estate, all right? Now, out of the 2 out of 5 that had a net negative effect, one of them was caused by real estate, which is the one that we just got out of. All right. Again, looking back at 2006, the interest rates in 2006 had hit like 8-9%. All of the mortgages were ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages. The banks were giving mortgages to people on stated income. All right. There was a lot of phony baloney deals out there that created a false sense of activity in the real estate market. Now, if you look at today, the conditions that we are in, less than 2% of mortgages aren't being paid right now. Guys, less than 2% of mortgages aren't being paid. What does that mean? Yes, 40 million Americans are out of work, okay? 40 million Americans are out of work. COVID is a terrible thing for a lot of people. But the facts is that the majority of people who lost their work, who lost their jobs, were in the service industry. And for the most part, people in the service industry don't get mortgages. They pay rent. All right? That's what's happened. And so we are not coming onto a massive foreclosure epidemic that's about to hit. What we are going to have is an increase. I'm not a fortune teller, guys, but what I can say, I've read a lot of economist reports. And I can tell you that if you're waiting for the real estate market to fall, you have a decade to wait. Maybe 5-7 years to wait. It's not happening anytime soon. I wouldn't be waiting for this massive calamity to happen in residential real estate for you to actually take action. If you're waiting for something catastrophic to happen and take action, go to commercial real estate. In the next 18 months, commercial real estate is its entire ass is gonna fall out from underneath it. But residential, it's not heading that direction. It's not.
Well, just to really pile on that, we have 12,000 pending listings right now in Maricopa County. We have 7,000 active homes. That's less than a month of inventory. A normal market is 6 months of inventory. You know what happens?
6 months is 1/6 of a regular market, guys.
Not even. We're barely over half of a month of market. And I'm telling you, this is happening in a lot of places. It really is.
Dude, as I was traveling around, it is everywhere. And everybody's DMing me saying, hey, are you seeing this in every location? Like everywhere I go is overwhelmed. My wife, Laura, listed a property for Jesse Burrell a couple days ago. She has 38 full price offers. So she's calling today. I put this on my Instagram story. She's calling everybody today saying, hey, I need your highest and best. They listed the property 10 grand over ARV.
Yep.
People are now raising 10 and 15 grand above that price.
Waiving appraisal contingencies.
Yes.
So even if the values, this is how markets heat up, guys. And when you have this many people that the interest rates are like 3.5%, okay? 3.5%, not 7, 3.5. Lending qualifications are still difficult. And yet you've got people waiving appraisals. You've got people, there's no houses out there. 0. Like,
will you explain what waiving appraisal means?
Means that if, say, for instance, I buy a house, so Pace has a house listed for $100,000, and I see it and I want it, so I say, hey, I'll give you full price, and he says, nice, Jamil, I've got 40 full price offers. What can you do better than that? And I say, well, I'll go up to 120. And my realtor says, yeah, 120 will never appraise. Go ahead and do that. But Pace realizes that's the game and says, if you are going to offer me 120, waive the appraisal contingency, meaning even if it's not worth 120, you're going to pay me $20K above that $100,000 because you want the house that bad. And that's what's happening right now in the real estate market. People are saying, even if it doesn't appraise, even if I have to come out of my pocket with the difference between appraised value and what I'm buying it for, I will come out of my pocket with that extra cash because I need the deal. Look, we were all trapped in our houses for the last 6 months, okay? A lot of us were trapped in our houses for the last 6 months, and we all know what's been going on in our homes. The homestead is not where we're going to let have an issue. People are not going to get foreclosed on, guys. This is all we got.
This is all. And listen, Jamil, what about all the shadow inventory that's out there?
What's a shadow shadow inventory? What about all the gremlins and gargoyles that live in my light bulbs, guys?
Yeah. No, I mean, don't these big hedge funds own like thousands of houses? What if they just dumped them all?
Okay. First of all, the reason why the hedge funds own all those thousands of houses is because they saw that we've been printing money like toilet paper in America. And especially after this virus happened, we printed even more money. And what that causes, guys, is massive. And look, I went to the grocery store on the weekend and we got eggs, bacon, and milk for like $65.
Yep.
Okay? Like when eggs, bacon, and milk cost you $60, people, that's inflation. That's inflation. Yeah, there might have been some gum and a choni bar in there, but like, guys, it's ridiculous what it costs to shop right now, right? You go, housing is all increased. The reason why Blackstone owns all those houses is because inflation is happening right now. And what is protected? What vehicle protects capital against inflation? Your house.
Yeah.
Because as inflation increases, so does housing prices.
Yep.
Right? Housing goes up with inflation. And so they've been putting money in homes because it's protecting their cash. It's a better return to have their money in a house right now than hedged against the stock market, because the amount of return they're getting just on inflation appreciation plus natural appreciation plus market condition appreciation plus cash flow.
Yeah.
You can't lose.
Can't lose.
Bro, Jerry and I had the appointment today. By the way, guys, I'm going to drop a link at the end of the show with a call that I made earlier today. I figured out how to share the link, and I'll let you guys know how it goes once it's done. Jerry and I are standing out in front of that house today, and we probably talked about inflation for 45 minutes as part of our deciding factor in buying the house today, because both of us are going to own this property together, and we're going to both put some money into the house. And the conversation is real. We're buying that house, and in 3 years, it's going to, I feel like maybe I'm crazy saying this, but I feel like in 5 years, our real estate pricing is going to get close to double what it is right now.
100%.
So if I own real estate right now at $100,000, it's going to be worth $200,000 in 5 years in Phoenix, Arizona. And that's even worse in California and other places. So if you guys are not buying or you need to understand, like, buy and hold investors right now, or anybody is just pouring money into real estate, because that's the only way to protect your ass.
And Jamil, let me ask you this. What happens if, I mean, we've got historical low interest rates for these buyers, for home buyers, right? What happens if it goes up to 7 or 8%? What does that do to our market? I mean, we've got an election coming up. There might be a change in the regime from a Republican to a Democrat, or it might just stay a Republican. Who knows? Might be an independent. Who knows? But what if things change with interest rates? But the reason I bring this up is because these are conversations that a lot of sellers have, right? And if you can speak to the level of what they're concerned about, this is going to help you. This isn't just us chatting about things so that it's like high level stuff. This is just regular, normal, adult conversations, right? That we have about real estate. And when interest rates go up, Jamil, what happens to prices? What happens to the market? What happens then if that happens?
Yeah, when interest rates go up, guys, then a person's buying capacity diminishes, and when prices are high, their capacity to buy anything diminishes, and so they exit the market. When you have buyers exiting the market, that is a depression in demand. When demand starts to decrease, what ends up happening to supply? It increases, and when supply increases, what happens to price? Price decreases. Okay, so yes, this could all create, with the regime change, and interest rates spiking, because we know that the current administration right now is trying to keep interest rates low. If a new administration starts to creep those interest rates back up again, that is a completely different thing. And then no one can come get mad at me and say, Jamil, you're wrong. Because in that case, I'm going to tell you that demand will shrink and prices will start to drop 1,000%. But that is not where we're headed right now. We're headed in the opposite direction. That could change in November.
What should people track so that they can see these type of things coming? Is it the federal interest rate? Is it the Federal Reserve? What? I mean,
federal, like when the Fed comes out, guys, I used to get nervous every time the Fed would adjust rates. Mm-hmm. Every time there was a proposed rate adjustment, I used to start getting nervous because I'd say, okay, my wholesale business is going to feel some kind of a blip depending on where interest rates go up or down, because in this lead up to where we are right now of activity, interest rates made a big difference, right? And so I would wait with bated breath. What's happening? What's going to happen? And then every time they'd raise it a quarter point for about a week, my wholesale sales would level off, and I'd see that. And then all the buyers would say, who cares? Interest, let's go. Yep. And they'd start doing it again. And then a week later, activity went back to normal and everything was fine. And so what you should be paying attention, guys, is that once the Fed rate creeps past 5.5%, that is a dangerously high rate. That is where we start to see massive market shifts start to occur. And I'm not telling you that's the point where you get out of wholesale real estate. That's the point when you are making money on the way down.
Yep. And just real quick, guys, if you guys want a great book here, How Money Works, phenomenal. Really, really great. It breaks down everything. It's really incredible. But let me ask you this, Jamil. When you say the federal interest rate, the way that I think of it is the federal, that's what the Fed gives banks, and then banks add a little percentage on there for themselves, and then they lend that out. So the government essentially is controlling inflation through interest. Is that right?
Correct.
And through printing of money, obviously. And they just printed a lot of money on those COVID checks, and a lot of money. And what, they're supposed to do another one? You know what I mean? So watch for inflation, watch for the interest rates, keep an eye on the federal rates. But guess what? In good market or bad market, Pace, do we still need to talk to people?
Every market, bro.
We still got to talk to people. Right now, it's interesting to understand and how to approach different sellers if they're having these conversations or having these thoughts about interest rates going up and what's going to happen and how's this going to affect us. One of the conversations we're having now is, hey, do you remember what 2008 was like when things were just skyrocketing and then a month later it was totally down? Like, the people that sold at the top are really smart, weren't they? Yeah. Well, I didn't do that. I sold with it and blah, 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 blah. Do you want to sell at the top now, or do you want to see if this is going to rise any higher? And then have that conversation with them. Like, really plant that seed that, wait a second, do you want – you told me what you wanted for your property, right? Yes. And and your buddy down the street says that you should get more, right? Is he going to buy the property? No. Okay. So do you want to wait until this thing raises up and hope that it's going to happen, or do you want to guarantee now? These are the conversations that you have so that you can shorten the timeline on your leads, because time kills all deals, okay? And these are important topics to talk about.
I think this question is for the two of you because both of you have people actively calling lists right now. In the beginning of the pandemic, guys, we were very bullish on landlords.
Yep.
And I believe that we are probably a part of the reason why landlords are getting phone called 47 times a day. Where are you pivoting to? What's changed? What are you calling Pace? What are you guys calling Brent?
We are calling the exact same stuff that we've always been calling, the niche lists and the high equity stuff. And I had another question earlier in the live. Somebody said, Pace, how do you go and market for subject to and seller finance? Guys, I don't. There's like 3 lists that you can pull that are specific to seller finance and subject to, but primarily we just pull every list that has any motivation. And depending on what's going on with that seller, we solve that problem and put them into whatever bucket is more appropriate. So, I'm going to buy it and fix and flip it. We bought one today from a probate attorney. Jamil and I talk a lot about building these, long-term relationships with referral partners. I got a deal today from a probate attorney. We're going to fix and flip. Then I do a lot of wholesale deals. Then I buy and hold. Anytime a seller is willing to give me terms on anything, I will take that down as a long-term play. Number one, especially with the inflation thing going on. Number two, I want the cash flow. So we are calling on the same exact list. If you want a specific list that we're crushing it on, and we have been for a long time, pre-COVID, during COVID, right now, even, kind of on the COVID tapering, is the high equity mobile home list in East Mesa. It's one of the hottest lists that we've ever had. We've got 2 deals right now that we're flipping, $70K on each one of those deals. And then every time we wholesale one, it's $30,000 assignment. So COVID hasn't changed that for us. Maybe it's changed for other people. Brent, what are you seeing with your students? Are you guys pulling different lists based on the current economic condition?
Old multifamilies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, they're older multifamilies, any size. I don't care. If you're just getting into it and you don't want to get too in the weeds with somebody that really knows how to speak real estate, then stay under 4 units. Right? Look for individuals that own them, or go the extra mile right now, which 99.9% of people won't do, and research who the actual owner of an LLC is. Okay? If they've owned it for over 10 years and that thing is built before 1990 and it's owned by an LLC, go into your corporation commission and go find out who the managing member is or who the owner is and skip trace them. Okay? Typically, their address that they put on their corporation paperwork is their house, right? So you call them up. Just make sure that you organize your list so you're not asking them to sell their house. You're actually calling about a multifamily. Okay, so you got to be a little bit more diligent there to make sure that you're not mixing up your lists. And then we always go driving for dollars, always, because it's a custom list and they're ugly properties. But I think it's fantastic. I actually just wrote down that mobile homes, man, people that can't afford houses now anymore because prices
money
can now afford mobile homes. Or
affordable housing, baby.
Portfolio, right? Get wonderful cash flow opportunities with mobile homes. So I think that that's fantastic.
Let me give you guys 3 lists for creative financing, okay? So you guys understand this. So number 1, you want to go after no equity deals. No equity, no equity, no equity. Nobody calls on no equity deals. Why would you ever call on a no equity deal? Well, I live right now. I live in a house I bought with no equity. If I didn't live here right now, I'd be making $1,000 a month in cash flow on a no equity home. So no equity is amazing. I just bought a property in Vegas, no equity, turned into an Airbnb, and I'm making $2,000 a month. So what do I need equity for if I'm a long-term buy and holder, especially with inflation? So no equity list. Number 2, fully paid off homes, because now I can go to sellers and ask them for seller finance, okay? And I can give them the number they want. I can ask for the percentage and the terms that I'm looking for. And then number 3 seems kind of interesting why somebody would go after this, but the VA loan list is a very specific, actually there's 4 lists. VA loans, and number 4 is expired listings. So if you have a seller that wasn't able to sell their house on the market, which right now I think it seems crazy, right? The house that Jerry Norton and I bought today is an expired listing home that's currently in foreclosure, right? Mm-hmm. They just owe too much. Or actually, they were in denial. That happens a lot too. You get sellers that are just in denial, and then it comes down to like a week before foreclosure. They go, holy crap, I guess everybody was right and I was wrong. Expired listings are money. Money, money, money. This house I live in, expired listing.
Explain. So to wholesale that though, Pace, with no equity, who's or Jamil, who's the buyer for that? So you put together something creative, whether it be from a free and clear house, right? That you put some creative terms together, or you've got something that's a subject to. How do you sell those to and wholesale those? And why would people buy them? Why wouldn't people just buy something off of the MLS?
Really easily, actually, Brent. So here's what I've seen, right? When Pace and I did Pace's first sub two, I love saying this because it's true. Pace's first sub 2 deal he ever bought was from me, right? And it was a wholesale to Pace. And so we made like 5 or 10 grand. I don't remember what it was. We made a wholesale fee on it, like normal wholesalers. Like that's what I am. I'm not a creative finance guys. I'm a wholesaler. I wholesale to Pace, and Pace says to me, Jamil, let me show you the error in your ways. Okay, here you wholesaled this house to me, and I'm paying you. Let's call it 5 grand. Okay. And here I'm going to pay this mortgage arrears. Let's call it 15 grand. I think he had to come up. He ended up, I think we were going to make 10, and then he had to come out of pocket a little bit more. So we adjusted. And anyway, he came out of pocket total on that house, 20,000. Okay. So Pace comes out of pocket 20 grand. Now he goes out and he lease options that house or whatever way
I wrapped it.
He wraps it. Okay. He makes $800 a month or so, or $900 a month or so on the wrap. Okay, so then I now put my cash flow hat on, and I think, hold on a second. For $25,000 or $20,000, Pace bought cash flow of $800 a month. Tell me, what Ponzi scheme could give you that return?
The best part about that deal is that my wrap buyer brought 29 grand to the table. That wrap buyer came from a real estate agent. I paid that real estate agent 5 grand. The cost to get into the deal from you guys, like all the stuff, was 21. So I actually made money up front, like a little chunk of money. I had $0 invested in the deal and made $800 a month up until 2 weeks ago when that wrap buyer finally refinanced me out.
So let's go back and let's look at the math here, okay? Pace puts out 20, okay? Gets back 30, gives 5 to agent, makes 5 grand.
Was it your 20, Pace, real quick?
No, that was a private lender.
Okay, go ahead, Jamil.
Okay, so Pace ultimately walks away with $5K and $800 a month for what I think is about 2 years, okay? So here's why those deals are easy to sell. Because if you put me on the phone with somebody and I tell someone, you're going to give me 30 grand and I'm going to give you $500 a month and you better kiss my feet and thank me for it, they better. Because there's 2 types of people in this world, right? There's wholesalers like me. I like my cash up front. Okay, I'm not a cash flow guy. I'm not going to ever pretend to be one, guys. You can come into astro flipping as much as you want and ask me sub 2 questions, and I'm going to tell you to go talk to Pace.
Yep.
I'm a wholesaler. I like my money now. Okay. But if you're really looking at gaining some cash flow, when I was getting into the market in 2010, I was getting into the market because I could buy a condo for 30 grand that would cash flow $500 or $600 a month. And that was in 2010. And I used to look at that return and say, this is criminal. What law am I breaking right now with this? Like this, if I wrote an ad in the newspaper, look at how the times have changed. If I wrote an ad on the internet and I said, hey guys, what is that return? First of all, can you tell me, Brent, are you a good mathematician?
It's bananas. That's the return. It's
20%, right?
Listen, it's more, yes. Yeah.
Right. So if I even wrote that on the internet, there would be windbreakers outside my door in about 2 months, and they'd be storming my castle and dragging me away to jail because they'd say, Jamil, there's no chance in hell that you're in an investment that returns 20%. No chance. There's no money out there that makes that kind of return. But I've been watching these sub-2 students, and I've been watching these creative finance guys over and over and over again create cash flow from such small entry fees that it's very easy for Keegley to sell those deals to end buyers, because when you're talking to anybody who has dollars, they also have cents. And that sense comes in the form of, where can you find an opportunity in the world today where 30 grand will give you $800 a month or $700 a month in cash flow? It doesn't
plus appreciation, plus tax depreciation, plus mortgage pay down. It is absolutely flabbergasting to think about how much money you make on a sub-2.
It's interesting. Really,
well, let me stir it up here a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Jamil, you and I are in the same boat. I don't want to have a huge portfolio of real estate. I talk to Pace about this all the time. Pace thinks I'm an idiot. I understand. He doesn't, because he's a kind sweetheart. But literally, it is another business. I think that people need to understand that it is another business to own a lot of real estate. Listen, is it passive? Not real. Yes, sure. You can set up the systems. You can set up the people.
If you're doing a wrap, it can be pretty passive. But for the most part, lease option and rentals is a pretty active business.
And what I'm saying is, Jamil and I have chose to focus on certain things. We focus on getting people their first deals and building up their business. It's what we love to do. That's what we're doing. We just have this freakazoid over here that gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning and needs 5,000 things to do to be able to do it. So you really need to have the self-awareness. If you've got an engine and a motor like Pace, I don't know if that's possible, but if you do, then get into it. If you don't have any interest in wanting to mentor people or coach people or put these things together, and you want to build a real estate portfolio, go for it. Start with learning how to source deals and then build it up. That's the whole natural progression, is you start getting opportunities and then you decide what you want to do with them and building that portfolio. Because listen, you do want that freedom of schedule. You do want that financial freedom. You do want what Pace was saying with the appreciation and the debt pay down and what else did you have? Appreciation, debt pay down,
depreciation,
taxes.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, those are the main three, and that's really important. But just understand, keep it focus on finding the deal first and start building out those systems so that you can have the opportunity and you're not just getting steamrolled by your rental portfolio. And now that financial and schedule, freedom of schedule, get destroyed because you're running all over. So set it up right, understand how to source the deals, get the best deals, and make sure that you're building your portfolio and managing the people that are managing that portfolio. And you're gonna be, it's a happy life.
It all starts from one thing right here. No matter what you choose to do, guys, it all starts with talking to people.
That's it.
I can directly look at the amount of money I'm making on a monthly basis and correlate it to how much time I spent on the phone the month before. And that's not just like at our levels. It's not just calling sellers. I call sellers now, not because I need to. I have a whole team that does that.
Yeah.
I truly enjoy doing it, and I do it. Primarily, what I do is I do it for other people that are having a hard time with it.
Yep.
But it's other conversations. It's kind of like what Brent was talking about earlier. You elevate in your business, you scale out of talking to sellers, but you still are talking to people. You're talking to your team. You're talking to your VAs. It starts with talking to people. It starts with the lead.
It starts and it ends there. Guys, I've been getting blown up through this entire hotline from Kevin Walker on my team, because we sold a house to a buyer that one of my sticky buyers, I did a video on sticky buyers. So I still sell houses to one of my sticky buyers because he won't work with anybody on my team. And he spent the last hour and a half chit-chatting on the phone and hadn't signed his contract. Meanwhile, Kevin, it's way past quitting time for him, he's got another buyer right now. So he's like, hey, bro, where's your guy? How come he hasn't signed yet? Let's go. If he doesn't sign, I'm ready. I got another backup. I'm ready to take it. Let's go. What's happening? So it's talking to people all the time. Whether you're talking to your team, you're talking to your sellers, you're talking to your buyers, you're talking to whoever, you have to be communicative. if you're not communicative, you are not doing the thing that human beings were meant to do, which was, again, bring it back to the beginning of this podcast today. Brent, you talked about Zig Ziglar and his quote on what can a book get out of you. I think the funny thing is, guys, is what we see more and more here is that as people, we're all connected. And if we do not take the time to connect with people, by showing concern and care, by trying to solve problems, by adding value and giving service, then we have no value we're adding no value to the mix, and then we don't deserve the money that we think we deserve, right? So it starts with getting the lead. It starts with talking to people. It starts with connecting. And when you connect, that will provide to you the solution that you need to bring, because it'll be apparent because it's right in front of your face.
I have somebody that I see all the time in my life, a family member, and they can't understand. They can't understand how people are successful. They can't understand how they make money. They can't understand why we're out on the barter system. They can't understand why they can't get ahead. And I say it's tough to serve humanity when you're at home with the lights off all day. It's hard. That doesn't work. Those video games, those movies, that joint you want to smoke and just blaze off for the next, at 10 a.m., whatever. It's hard to serve humanity if you aren't communicating with humanity and finding out where you can serve, what problems that you can solve, what solution you can bring. Right? We all have the talents and the skills and the abilities and just tweaking the communication skills just a little bit. Now you're off and running. I mean, that's what's so exciting about this business. That's what's so exciting about real estate. That's what got us all into real estate. You know what I mean? That whole idea. There's things that you said, Jamil, during this. And by the way, Jamil, I think this is the best wholesale hotline you've ever dropped. For real. You've been on absolute, I
totally agree.
Earth-shattering, on fire. You're like the sun, brother. And it is.
I was literally just thinking, how is this guy my friend?
What's that?
I was just literally thinking, how does Jamil even want to be friends with me? This dude's freaking unbelievable.
It's the next level. I'm telling you, it's a totally different level. And I'm telling you, people, there are things that you said tonight, Jamil, that people are going to really understand and build confidence from. And that's serving humanity. That's what this is. That's what this says, whether it's on a call individually with somebody or if it's something like this. That's the whole point. And just keep going, and that will come to it. It all comes back to you. It's the whole go-giver. You need to be receptive, right? You need to be open to receiving gifts from other people. And I think a lot of people are shut down, and that's why they don't want to go out and be as proactive and be as loud and be as enthusiastic, because they're worried that they're going to get it all coming back and they don't know how to react to it. Be open to it. Jamil, you have a phenomenal mindset about this, about blessings coming towards you, about the things that, you're not set out to try to get the reaction out of it. You're just set out to put amazing things out into the world. And it's made you a multimillionaire. It's made you an unbelievably successful businessman. Not only that, but probably one of the kindest people that I know. And, it's because of your philosophy. So you're the man.
Hey, can I jump into something, Brent? You talked about adding value, right? So at the very beginning of Wholesale Hotline, we take about 30 minutes and we do what we call a warm-up show. We've got about 400 people watching live right now. Guys, go in the comments on the side. We want to know what you want us to do during the warm-up show. What we've been doing is we've been doing GoNock, showing you guys how to operate that. We've been doing batch leads, showing you guys how to pull lists and skip trace and all that kind of stuff. Do you guys want us to maybe cold call some leads? What is it that you guys want us to do during the warm-up show on the upcoming weeks that we can provide real technical, mechanical value to you guys in your business? What is it that you want to see us do? Because I'm a monkey see, monkey do kind of guy. I love doing the action, or I love watching somebody else do the action. What do you guys want to see? Rachel A. Lloyd says seller calls, role play. Cool.
Comping.
Comping.
It's funny because we put out so much on our YouTube channels and the wholesale, and it's all about calling and doing it and that. And then people are like, oh no, now what do I do? I got this deal. I've been calling and I need I need some help comping. It's interesting. For
What
sure.
if we
That's
did,
the toughest thing, right? When you're starting, deal or no deal. That's the toughest part. Is this a deal or not a deal?
can we get maybe Jamil next week? Do you think you could show up 30 minutes earlier and we could have people, ask you to comp properties? Would you guys get value out of that?
Why don't you guys do this? Bring a property to the warm-up show tomorrow on next week, and I will show up early and we will comp houses until Wholesale Hotline begins.
Love it. So here's what I think we do. I think next week we do comping. The week after that, we get Tino and Nick from my team to call sellers live. They'll call my leads and just watch how we follow up with leads. We'll do like a follow-up sequence, and you guys can hear us talking to leads. We'll do that like an hour before the show. So we'll actually start at 4 o'clock, and we'll have my team call sellers live so you guys can hear us exactly how we talk to people.
I think everybody says they want some cold calls, baby. This is my type of group. So after that, I'll just get on and we'll just go for a half hour. I'll jump on the dialer and just go live. It's not as exciting as you would think. In a half hour, you might get 5 or 7, conversations. We'll see. But we'll go hard on it. We'll have a lot of fun. I love that. We'll get
hard on the paint.
Love it.
And somebody wrote skip tracing, so maybe we could one day show people how to upload a list, clean up a list, and actually skip trace a list. That might be something that people are finding issues on. I think that's an interesting thing to do. So we got some cold calling, we got some comping. I'd love to bring a hard money lender on to answer questions at the beginning of a show.
Let's bring Noah on here, man. I love Noah.
We could get Noah on a show here, and they could talk about what they're looking for when they're working with wholesalers, what hard money lenders look for when partnering with wholesalers, and what they avoid, right? Because hard money lenders have been called by everybody, and they work with some wholesalers and some they'll hang up on you. So let's find out what a hard money lender is looking for when you call them, and we'll bring them on. Next week, we've got an amazing guest already, don't we, Brent?
Yeah, we've got Cody Hoffine. Cody Hoffine from Wholesaling Inc. Phenomenal. You guys are going to just be blown away. He's excited to come on here. He has got a business that does $2.5 million in wholesaling a year in 2 different markets in Texas and in Utah. So a ton of wealth next week. Do not miss next week. It's going to be phenomenal. He is just, if you think I have energy, this dude's going to blast you away.
Cody Hoffine is probably one of my most favorite people in the business. Mm-hmm. Not only does he have an electrifying smile, guys, but he's got a heart to match, right? He's just an amazing family guy. He's part of your Rhino Nation. He's a Wholesaling Inc. A player. Yeah. He's got coaching. He's been a wholesaler from around the way. So he'll have all kinds of value and nuggets to drop with you guys. So everybody who's the 400 or so that are on right now, we want to see all of you, but tell a friend, because I think that we should probably break some records with Mr. Hoffine on.
Yep. Awesome. 6 months, guys. Can you believe it? 6 months, half a year, 26 straight. Well, we missed 1 week, but 27 weeks, 26 shows. Often copied, never duplicated. Wholesale Hotline, here to answer any questions that you guys have. We try to get to as many as we can.
Can I touch on that real quick? Yeah. You are 100% right. I've been seeing a couple of shows pop up, and I appreciate it. I love it when people try and copy us. People ask me, like, why are you constantly doing new things? I'm like, because I'm trying to just show people they cannot keep up. That's all there is to it. Here's the cool thing about our show. Brent talks about it more than everybody else. It's the format of the 3 people that run the show. Brent, what is the format that we got here?
Lead generation, conversion, and exit strategy, also known in our world as disposition. And we break it up. I talk about lead generation. Pace is answering your conversion questions or your lead follow-up, and you're converting the deal. And then Jamil shows you how to sell it for the most so that you can squeeze all the juice out of that deal, it is the 3 parts. That's the 3 parts that you got to work on in your wholesaling business: lead generation, conversion, and exit strategy / disposition. So that's what we try. And then we try to bring on some phenomenal guests. We've had the biggest and the best on here. And I think somebody was asking for Keith Everett. So we're going to have to talk to Keith. We all know him really well, and he's great. And we'll get him on here if he is available. But anybody else, guys, that you guys think that should be on the show?
We're going to have Trevor Mouch from Carrot.com.
Carrot.com to talk about web. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And
remember, send Pace a DM and write first spiel in his.
No. Fist wheel.
Fist wheel.
Right? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear how I'm gonna give this link away today?
Yes.
Okay. Here's how I'm gonna, because my YouTube are popping off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys Jamil's YouTube link right here. What I want to do is I see Jamil. I'm looking at his YouTube. He's just barely started. I'm super impressed with what he's doing. Jamil's already at he's at 2.6 thousand subscribers. So when Jamil gets to 2.7, so another 100 subscribers, what I'm going to do is the link that I just shared right there, I'm going to drop my link for my recorded Zoom call today, me locking up 5 houses with 1 seller. I'm going to share that link inside Jamil's comments once he hits another 100 subscribers. So guys, go to Jamil.
Go to my YouTube page. Just type in my name, Jamil Damji. Subscribe, ring the bell, and when I get another 100 subs, thanks, Pace. Pace will leave his link in the comments. Boom.
Yeah, so guys, go do that. I gave you the link right here to the video that I'm going to put my Zoom call on. It's a 51-minute call of me calling a seller live today, locking up 5 houses on 0% seller finance. Okay, unbelievable. One of my favorite calls I've ever done, all recorded. And I'm going to share that Zoom link with you guys in that Jamil YouTube video once he gets another 100 subscribers.
Amazing. Thank you. So cool.
Awesome.
Guys, this was an amazing show. We're at the end. I just want to, again, thank everybody for the last 6 months. You guys have brought us an amazing amount of energy. Brent, Pace, and myself, we look forward to this every single week. Not only has it monumentally changed our outlook on just what we can do for service, right? And people's receptivity to that service. But really, I feel like we've connected with some of you guys at such a personal and deep level that I feel that it's been life-changing. I've made so many friends from Wholesale Hotline. We've only been at it for 6 months. And every week it gets better and better. Every week our video that we post on Instagram that promotes it gets better and better. Every week our warm-up show will get better and better. And because of you guys, every week we get better and better. And so, again, I just want to thank you two so very much for not only your guys' knowledge, your wisdom, but your friendships. It's amazing. Thank you for bringing everything you guys do every single week to this. I'm honored to be on a panel with you guys. I'm honored to be on a podcast with you guys. I love you both very much.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
You all.
Thank you. 6 months.